You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mix with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Welcome to the Hardcore Patriot.
Hey, let 'em do it again. Yeah. Hey.
No one is below rule of law's protection. No one is above his reproach.
People coming out of the woods carrying torches for days apart.
Today, we make history.
Man, I almost don't even know what buttons to press anymore. It feels like it has been forever since I have been behind this microphone, especially doing a Hardcore Patriot. Yeah, I know. I'm still doing Circumspice, right side of Michigan, every Sunday night. I even missed one of those here a while back. But, you know, I do this show. I do Hardcore Patriot every other week. So if you actually miss a show, you've pretty much gone a few weeks, and I fall apart. I love this show. I love doing this show. I love bringing you the content, even though like today, it's going to be pretty rough. It's going to be pretty gloomy. I've been thinking a lot about the last year and a half. I've had some time to think about the last year and a half, all the crap that's happened. The loss of my mom. Thank God every day that she did not have to endure what's been going on. She went quickly. She lived to a nice, ripe old age of 80, and she passed quickly. And that's why I took the last Hardcore Patriot that we had. I took it off. We had a memorial for Mom. We finally had just about all the family together. We had a good time. I mean, we paid our respects, and there were some tears shed. There were some solemn moments. But, immediately afterwards, we all gathered down into our local church's basement, and we just had a simple lunch but there was just family and maybe a few people who weren't actually blood related, but we actually feel our family. And it would surprise you because a lot of these people lived with us growing up. And I tell you what, it would surprise a lot of people on the left if they were to see all of us together in one place and what the demographics are, because it would just bust down all of that racial redneck hick lies that they tell. And they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know how to perceive us because there was no skin color. There was no differences. We were all just one big happy family having a great time, reliving a lot of our childhood, reliving my parents, memorial to my mom, but, mom and dad both. And it was a great time. It was a great time. I'm glad it's behind me now. It was a year and 4 months, way overdue. So I'm glad it's behind me now. Looking into the future, looking forward, I really want to be positive. But to tell you the truth, every day I sit back and I think, I puzzle, as they said in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, I puzzle and I puzzle until my puzzler was sore. That's kind of what I do anymore. You've got this quote variant, unquote, now going around. And, the usual doomsayers, the usual, oh my gosh, we're all going to die. Oh my gosh, they're out there and they're doing their thing. And they're saying, oh, you better hurry and go get vaccinated. You better hurry and go get vaccinated or you're going to die. Throughout this whole thing, we were promised pretty much from the beginning, from these same panic porn pushers, that the bodies would be stacking up. The bodies would be stacking up. They just there weren't going to be enough places in the streets. There would just be people just lying dead. You ever see the original, The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand, the beginning of that? The movie itself was kind of lackluster, but the very beginning of it, they're just corpses everywhere, just lying all over the place, hanging out the car doors and stuff. This is what we were promised. It never happened. It's still not happening. People are getting it. They're getting over it and they're getting on with their lives. Now doctors know more about it. They know how to treat people with it, and fewer people are dying from it. Now, yes, when you point this fact out, the media is real quick to go on an Easter egg hunt, a massive, massive hunt to try to find one example of some young kid with tubes sticking all out of them and saying, see, you're all going to die. See? And then when you actually start doing the homework and studying where the picture came from, yeah, the kid's probably dying of COVID and cancer and pneumonia caused by all of the treatments that he's had and radiation that have failed. And he was probably born with leukemia and brain trauma and about 15 other things. And then they have to retract the statement, but the panic is still out there. And I'm trying to put it all together, trying to make sense of it all. And I've got a few thoughts on it and I'm going to share with you. Let's get this thing going. Going to be a fun show. First of all, I want to acknowledge I'm live tonight. I had to go in early today. My coworkers all had things going on in their private lives, so they had to take the day off. And they said, hey, can you pull a morning shift? I said, sure. I don't have any hot dates or anything like that going on. So I went into work early, got out early, and here I am, which means I'm live, which means I'm looking at the chat room and seeing Jeff, Orty, Ron, Aggie, which you just heard Aggie and Mickey. Great show. I just love those guys. They just work so good together. And I'm also seeing JC, seeing Mike. Guys, happy Friday. Love y'all. What a great weekend. Another reason that this all worked out good today is because I got to get up in the morning and run a 5K race. It's really local. I mean, super, really close local. It's the Vineyard, like 3 miles down the road from my house. So yeah, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to run a 5K. Probably not going to set any personal records because let's face it, guys, I'm getting old. And I really don't care to set personal records anymore. I don't do this to die. Oh no, they're ganging up on me in chat. This could get ugly, guys. This could really get ugly. But anyways, I'm going to start out and we'll get to the science. We'll get to the cult that has become the science in a minute. But I want to start out with something that you may or may not know. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit here. Okay. I don't have to tell anybody. We're screwed right now. You're seeing the direction that the Biden administration is taking this country. You're seeing higher gas prices. Gas prices are just going off the charts again, just like Obama was back in charge. You're seeing inflation skyrocket. You're seeing shortages. And guess what? It's going to get worse. Why is it going to get worse? Because China just shut down the world's third busiest port after one reported COVID-19 case. Now, this is kind of big, okay? Because if you remember right, we're already having problems getting chips over, computer chips, stuff like that from China, so they can stick them in American-made cars. So, there can be more recalls and more transmission failures and stuff like that. That's what we do with those chips. We stick them in cars, and then we wonder why that there's so many recalls and failures and stuff that relate to the computer in the car. Well, that's why. But anyways, this timing could not be worse because right now, you're not thinking of this right now, but right now we are crashing headlong into fall. I hate to say it. I hate that summer's just about over, but honestly, we are crashing headlong into fall, which means Black Friday is going to be up on us before too long at all. And a lot of the stuff coming out of this port in China is technological gadgets, technology, things like that. And it's kind of scary. I'm not even going to lie to you. There is some real ramifications for what's going on there. Okay, let's put it that way. It's the world's third busiest port, and they shut an entire terminal down. And if your ship gets there, longer than 2 days after or earlier than 2 days before you're supposed to, they just don't let you in, whether you're loading or unloading. And this is going to mean, and shipping problems right now, one of the drivers of this economy that we're living in right now, that we're about ready to pay for big time. One of the drivers behind that is shipping. Shipping right now is a nightmare. Thank God that I am still not in my old career, which basically was purchasing on a corporate level, lots and lots of things coming over from China, and people not understanding that I don't have control when China decides that they can't ship things. It's just what it is. But we are heading headlong into Black Friday. And if there are product shortages, good shortages, it's just going to tank our economy even more. Exactly. JC, logistics sucks right now. And I am so glad I'm out of that part. It's hard enough for me just to do my job as a simple buyer for a university that just, I limited what I do. But anyways, what is the name of this place? Zingbo Zushan. Zingbo. Sounds like a clown, doesn't it? Zingbo the clown. Anyway, all the container services were halted Wednesday until further notice due to a system disruption. And the closed terminal accounts for 25% of container cargo through the port, calculates security consultant GardaWorld. 25%. The closed terminal accounts for 25% of container cargo through that particular port, the third largest port in the world, and that's 25% of their cargoes. And I think we're going to see, because of this, inflation rise even higher. It's going to get even worse. We are just entering into the storm. Yeah, I have to understand right now. I just get the feeling that this is just going to, let's face it, folks, we do not have wise people running this country right now. We have just the opposite. We have total fools running this country right now. We have people that believe that, they believe that you're not a woman if you have a vagina. These are people that believe that men can have babies. These are people that believe that locking down and masks actually work, when the statistics are looking at it saying, well, no, they don't. These are not wise people. And the leader of these people, who is in the White House right now, is worthless. He has a dementia-ridden, he's got issues, and they're trying to hide it. They're trying to squelch it. They're trying to, point a finger here, point a finger there. But when it all comes down to it and you're looking at him, the man is worthless. What really has he done since he walked into the White House? What has he personally done since becoming president? I'd like to know. Not much of anything. But anyways, one person has tested positive for COVID, and China has shut down this entire thing. They're combing through all of the people, doing everything, and it may be closed. This little port might be closed for a couple of days, maybe closed for a couple of weeks. But there is a real possibility that this is going to set off a chain reaction. And that chain reaction will have the effect that it's going to have on this country just about the time Christmas sets in, just about the time that the biggest week of our economy, Black Friday and the days following, is about to hit. And if people cannot deliver goods and services that you ordered, it's going to damage this economy irreparably. We're going to have some issues. It's going to take years to recover. There is that real possibility. There's the real possibility of hyperinflation happening. There's a lot of things that could happen, chain reaction to this little episode with this port. We're already experiencing, and they're trying their hardest, bless their stupid little hearts. They're trying their hardest to basically let us know that, or keep us from knowing that we're having shortages. Folks, we're having shortages. We're having problems. Jeff, you're probably not wrong. Jeff in chat says Panama was a trial run. Changed my mind. But yeah, exactly. Well, Mike, I hope we're not locked down. We're going to get into that as the show goes on. But anyways, I just get the feeling that this is going to escalate and keep escalating because these people don't know how to get through it. They're not business people. They're the ones that basically toss the business person back out on his butt. Whether you believe by cheating or not, I think there's some nefarious things going on. I don't think we're ever going to know. Because I think both sides are involved. So it's just one of them deals. We just press forward and we try to recover from what's been happening. Anyways, be prepared. Have a backup plan. It may come down to not being able to rely on money. It might come down to we are another Venezuela. Hyperinflation. $300 for a gallon of milk. $500 for a gallon of gas. You don't think it'll happen? Well, it's happened in places better than us. I guarantee you. And these people are stupid. They don't understand economics. All they understand is feelings. And right now their feelings are that they want socialism and communism in this country. They hate capitalism because they think because you actually have to get off your dead lazy butt and do something that capitalism is evil. Capitalism is bad. Well, no, it's not if it's actually the government gets out of it and keeps its cronies out of it and allows capitalism to do its job. Capitalism means that I can decide, you know what? I really don't want to work where I'm working now. I'm going to go into business for myself. And lo and behold, I'm actually doing pretty good for myself. Well, you can't do that now because when you do go into business for yourself, basically you're just working for the government and you're allowed to keep the keys to your business. That's basically what you're boiled down to now. you're not free anymore. You're a free range taxpayer. I've been saying that for a while now. And I got that from Theron X, right up there in Ann Arbor doing his thing. Fellow blues man. Love Theron. But yeah, this is crazy. And it's just going to keep going. And you better have a plan starting now. That extra few cans of beans, green beans, that extra can of canned chicken, canned tuna, whatever, throwing in your grocery cart, that extra dried food, freeze-dried food, whatever. It may be a good idea starting now to just add it every week to the grocery, just a couple of things, couple little things here and there. Doesn't cost a lot. Doesn't shoot your budget or anything like that. But start doing it now, because I just get the uneasy feeling that we are about to experience some real crap when it comes to the economy. It's crazy. And like I said, we don't have a president who is a leader. We have a president who is a meat puppet. He's worthless. He's absolutely crazy. And if you look at Biden so far, since January, and here we are halfway through August, just about, everything is negative. The economy's going up. Gas prices are going up. The economy's not going up. The economy's kind of stagnating still, but just rising. People are going back to work. They're trying to get back to work. And the funny thing about it is the Biden administration's out there going, see all these jobs we created? Ho, ho, ho. We created them. No, you didn't. You didn't. People are finally going back to work from being shut down by the stupidity of being locked down. That's what that is. And Trump didn't do that. Your local governor did that. Your state governor is the one that shut you down or did not shut you down. That's what happened. And when you start saying that to people, all you get is the but Trumps. But Trump, but Trump, but Trump. Well, the one thing I'll fault Trump for is not taking that little weasel Fauci and chucking him out into the ocean and replacing him. That's the one thing I will fault Trump for. Now, I understand why he didn't do it, because Trump's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's not looking at the guy going, God, you're a slimy little weasel. You're gone. For the life of me, I can't figure out why he just didn't get rid of him. I can't understand. But he didn't. And now we're still stuck with him. And of course, the left just loves him. They gush over him. And he's part of the cult. He's part of the cult that's called the science. Now, you hear it on commercials. You hear, in fact, just coming on to the Spreaker app tonight, listening to Mickey and Aggie before the show. The commercials before their commercials cut in. Oh, because I trust the science. And I've come to the conclusion that this is not people saying the science as small t, small s. They are now saying the science, capital T-H-E, capital S, science. It has become their religion. Dr. Fauci has become their Jesus. COVID has become Satan. And no matter what Fauci says, I mean, tomorrow, Fauci can say, well, you have to wear a mask over your butt and you have to walk naked backwards from now on. These people would be shedding their clothes and finding butt masks immediately. I guarantee you. They are the science, capital T, capital S, the science. And it's like some kind of Jim Jones utopia. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't understand it. If you question anything, they want, you're a heretic. They want to hang you. They want to kill you. Well, you shouldn't receive health care because you questioned the science. Oh my gosh, I question the science. Well, that's because we get lied to all the time. We get told things that aren't true. We get people, the talking heads out there on television going, oh, all the ERs are at full capacity. People are dying in the streets. Oh my God, this is the end. But when you go to your local hospital, you don't see it. When you go actually study your local areas, you don't see it. You actually talk to a doctor. They say, well, people check in. but most of them are gone within a day, maybe 2 days. And if we have to intubate most people, we give them albuterol treatments and we may give them a little something else and we send them back home. Bodies are not stacking up. Now they're saying, well, you got to mask your children. You got to mask your children. And it's safe. It's effective. Safe and effective is their hymnal. If they could sing it, they would. Safe and effective, Dr. Fauci. You know, it's a religion. I'm telling you. Safe and effective, everything. You know, and you look at it and you go, no, you know, I'm no stranger to psychology. Trust me, folks. I've had several college psychology classes. I had to for my degree. Child development being one of them. What they're doing to children right now is going to cause long-term effects that these crusty old morons that are doing this right now are going to be dead and gone by the time we realize what they've done. Dead and gone. So they don't have to answer to it. I think they know that. Either that or they're just really, really, really stupid and they just don't fathom it. And then we're being told that you need to get vaccinated. You need to get vaccinated. You need to wear masks. In the meantime, the southern border is wide open. People are marching through like a parade. Many of them, many of them carrying COVID, probably hacking and wheezing and everything else. Now pictures are coming out. There's going to be a PR nightmare because somebody released a bunch of pictures of these people all piled in together in a room. Kids in cages. Oh, I thought that was over. Biden doesn't put kids in cages, does he? Yes, he does. He really does. I say all of this because I wonder sometimes, what's going on? You know, I know these people aren't all that bright. They want to tell you they're bright. They want to tell you they're the smartest of the smart, the most educated of the educated. But really, you get to studying most of them, they're basically stupid. They're popular. They're winning a popularity contest is what they're doing. Some of them are put in positions because of their oddities. You know, the left loves their oddities. They love their freak show. So if you're the bigger freak, you're going to get a better position. That's just the way they are. And I wonder what's really going on sometimes. And I had a tweet thread the other day about this too, and it still weighs heavy on my mind. There's a couple of things that could be happening right now. And this is after a year and a half of watching these fools to chase this grease pig down and try to tackle it and everything. I'm going to throw a couple of scenarios out to you. And after this, we're going to take a break, come back, we're going to talk some more. Scenario number one. What if they really let Pandora's box open? What if, and you know, here's the thing, we may or may not ever know this. What if this virus is more similar to AIDS than what they're talking about? That right now you're just going to get it, but what it does to your body 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road, what it does to your body just basically slowly destroys you, slowly kills you. They know it because they designed this virus. They paid for it to be designed. They paid the Wuhan lab to fund it. They funded it. Gain of function research. Now that it's been leaked, now that it's out of the box, and it conveniently came when we had China backed up against a wall, and China was about to basically implode on itself. Oh, and all of a sudden the whole world's sick. Oh, how convenient's that? Which isn't, basically a theory for another day, conspiracy theory for tomorrow's episode. No, anyways, it makes you wonder if this thing is weaponized. It is real, which I think that's true to an extent. But the problem is the reason they're panicking, they're in panic mode. They're trying not to be in panic mode, but it just seems to me that they're in panic mode about every single man, woman, child, dog, rodent, whatever, get some kind of a shot. Is it because they know exactly what this virus is going to do to you long term? There's going to be disorders, neurological disorders, cancers, things like that this thing is going to, look what it does. Look how it attacks people. Look how it blows up any weakness that you have. But yet they can't really come out and say, hey, world. If it was America, it'd be one thing, but this is the whole planet we're talking about here. Hey, world, we got a problem. Yeah. Well, we created this virus that's going to eventually kill a lot of you if you don't get vaccinated. And, well, yeah, we really need you to get the shot because this is weaponized and it's going to kill you long term. Actually, if they came out and said that, I would have been one of the first ones to beat a path to any kind of, shot. I eventually came around to getting a shot, and it's looking more and more like I made the right decision to get Johnson & Johnson and not the RNA altering ones, because that's becoming, we'll study the second half of the show, even more of a kind of an eyebrow raiser. But maybe that's one of the things. Of course, if they do admit that it's weaponized and that it's long-term damaging and that there's problems, then people are going to want to know where it came from, why it came from. They do now anyways, but they're not really putting their hearts into it. If they were to come out and actually admit this, now this is just hypothetical, me talking, then they would actually have to figure out exactly what lab it came from, exactly who funded it, and guess who that would all lead back to? The Jesus of the science movement, Dr. Fauci. They're not going to let that happen, folks. So they're going to keep trying to shyster you into getting the shot. That's one scenario. The other scenario is the CDC and the World Health Organization are buffoons. They're all making a lot of money on this whole scenario. They don't want it to go away. They want all of these variants. They want every single one of these variants. And you think the Delta variant is going to be the end? Oh, heck no. Delta variant, Lambda variant, Pi variant, you name it. We're going to have to go through all of these variants. And they've already promised that once the Greek alphabet's over, they're going to start naming them like hurricanes. Does that clue you in on something? It does me. Clues me in on the fact that somebody's making a heck of a lot of money on this, which is my other scenario, and they just don't want to let it go. They just don't want to let it go. And if they do let it go, well, think about it. Over the past year and 6 months, they have literally created an entire industry out of panic. Masks, personal protection equipment, sanitation stuff. Huge industries, thriving industries. People are making money on this stuff. Government elected officials are making money on this stuff, not just here in the United States, all over the world. You think they want to let that go? That's easy money. That's easy money. The other scenario is I think they just possibly that this thing just isn't as bad as what they say. They're having to just beg, plead, and talk to people. People are not stupid. They're looking around saying, well, the bodies aren't stacking up. We already know, anybody can look at the stats and figure out with third grade education that it's people over 65 that are actually dying. People that are obese, people with heart conditions that are actually dying. And, well, they're not falling for it. They don't trust the government. They don't trust the government because the government lies constantly. The government can't be trusted. And they're saying, well, it's a right-wing problem. Excuse me, black people, a lot of black people are not getting this shot. The reason they're not getting the shot is 2 words, a Tuskegee experiment. You've, Mr. Government, Mr. and Madam Government, have probably killed a lot of these people's relatives with your experimental drugs. You think they trust you? You think they have a reason to trust you? Everything you say is a lie. Why should anybody trust you? You've made this bed. You don't like it that everybody's ignoring you. You're trying to freak everybody out with these variants. Nobody's buying it. This mandate I'm seeing now, these local mandates for masks and everything, nobody's buying into it. Very few people are really wearing masks like their lives dependent on it. They just don't care. They're over it. So there you go. And JC in chat, yeah, I've heard that too, that the Johnson & Johnson use abortion byproducts. And it doesn't sound crazy. Stem cell. I don't know if that's been verified or if they're using the stem cell stuff from actual umbilical cords and things like that. Something to look into. I'll have to look into that. But anyways, you've got scenarios out there. Nothing adds up. Nothing adds up. The whole, hey, we got a virus and you need to get this shot because this virus is really, really bad and it's not going away. That's not even adding up. Because when you look at the statistics, most people get mild to semi-serious symptoms and they get better. A lot of people are asymptomatic. And none of it makes sense. The reaction to the virus doesn't make sense. They won't explain themselves. All they do is look at you and say, trust the science. Capital T, capital S, the science. Trust our religion. Trust our Lord and Savior, the science. Oh, which, by the way, we're not going to give you really access to what we found because it's probably going to disprove what we've been saying.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And there you go. Yeah. Eric in chat. Yeah. Send me that article. I'd like to see that. But that's all. I tell you what, that's something for a different day. What they're doing with abortions and what we found out that they're having live aborted babies, keeping them alive just so they can harvest organs and stuff. There's still a good place in society for hanging people on top of trees. There just really is. We're blown by the bottom of the hour. I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, well, we're going to continue some thoughts here, including some of the biggest messes I've ever seen. God, since Jimmy Carter was president. Don't go anywhere. We're still on a rant.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
And we're back. I'm really surprised we actually have internet. I'm really surprised I can go live tonight. We look like we've been bombed out here. There's so many people that are still without power right now. It's crazy. And they say that maybe one or two small tornadoes touched down, but just the storms that came through starting Wednesday night and into Thursday morning and even Thursday mid-morning, just crazy. Some of the winds that were coming through on top of them were like 65, 75 mile an hour, just blasting trees over, knocking trees into telephone poles and knocking telephone poles and wires and everything down. Just north of here, just looks like it's been bombed. There's just trees and stuff down everywhere. We were fortunate enough, our lights flickered once, and that was it. That was it. I don't remember having storms of this magnitude since, 70s. It's just crazy. It makes me wonder if, if we're heading back into that kind of cycle. I know the solar cycle is back, maximizing again and things like that. We've had that discussion, and I do this for free and stuff. And it's been interesting, especially if you're kind of a soft shortwave radio and ham radio nut like I am. It's been interesting seeing some of the results of that. It's been crazy, picking up frequencies that I never heard before. Never heard. Yep. Solar cycle number 25. You're exactly right, Jeff. You can actually get t-shirts that say, and coffee mugs that say solar cycle 25 on them. Just so you know, they're on the AARL website. You can go to that. That's how bad ham radio people are. So anyways, Texas, even after a 15-hour attempted filibuster, Texas Senate passed the voting restrictions. It's not voting restrictions. They're calling it, you can always tell these people are just freaking out because they're calling these voting restrictions. Really, honestly, all it's doing is taking away some of the shady stuff that the left inserted into our election. During the whole COVID thing, they're like, oh, you got to have 24-hour voting. You have to have unchecked mail-in ballots. Oh, all of the things. And, of course, the left is coming out and saying, well, black people don't know how to vote. So they have to have our guidance. We have to help them out because they're not intelligent. It's that whole soft bigotry of low expectation that the left really, really focuses in on. And, they're racist. They're the biggest bigots on the planet. It's just you can't convince them of this because they think what they're doing is actually justice. And they keep bringing up the whole, this is democracy. We have to protect our democracy. You're not protecting anything. You people are idiots. You're not protecting anything. And hopefully Texas can get this thing signed into law. And it's not voter restrictions. Basically, it closes the door on cheating. And the left knows that it closes the door on cheating. They know it. So they're having all kinds of fits. They're having issues. Every state where these laws are passing, where they slam the door on just open, hey, everybody, just fill out 50 ballots apiece and mail them in. Nobody's going to check. They don't want one vote, one person. And I don't know of anybody on the right that would say, well, I hope there's nobody on the right that would say, we don't want a certain segment of people to vote. Voting is important. And I don't care, left, right, center, whatever. Voting is important. But voting legally within our law, actually being alive, that's another good one. Not voting in 27 precincts, every person. You know, there's so many things so many ways that this can be, that voting is exploited now, that elections are exploited. And these states are closing their loopholes. They're going, yeah, no. If you're going to vote absentee ballot, you need some ID. You need a form of ID. We need to know that it's one vote, one person. And the left is freaking out. Oh, you're disenfranchising people of color. And I keep asking, why do you feel that? Why do you feel that? Is it because you think that people of color are dumber than you? You think that people of color can't find the polling places? You think black people don't know how to vote? Is that what you think? Because that sounds really racist and bigoted. In fact, that is the true racism. And these people have been the racists and the bigots since there was slavery. Yep, train went through. If you listen to my podcast regularly, trains go through. They just go right through the middle of my podcast. I don't even care. The track is it's spitting distance from back there. In fact, in realistic terms, the train track is about a 7-iron shot behind my house. Trust me, I know. But anyways, so they're passing this law. They're getting ready to pass it. Of course, Eric Holder. Remember Eric Holder? Eric Holder? Yeah, remember him? Operation Fast and Furious, the guy that armed a bunch of Mexican drug lords, ended up getting a bunch of people killed, and basically will never probably stand trial for it. Came out today, and it suggested that citizens should be taking to the streets and rioting, protesting, causing civil disturbances and things like that because of these laws that are closing the loopholes. He basically gave marching orders to his communist comrades to get out there and burn everything down again this summer, or this fall, I should say. He was on Rachel Maddow's show. And, you know, that Rachel Maddow guy, he was more than happy to have a fellow communist on. So Holder let the cat out of the bag. And to me, this is really telling. All of the years that Obama, Obama was in charge and that Holder was Obama's stoolie and flunky and the riots and all that stuff started. You want to know where they came from? You want to know who was giving the marching orders on all that stuff? Eric Holder. He's coming out and telling you this now, folks. Right on Rachel Maddow's show. Hey, you should all go out and riot. This is what you're getting. It's absolute craziness. And that was a response to Texas starting to pass these laws that say, hey, we're going to make it a little bit harder for y'all to cheat. No. And Holder basically came out and said, well, the Republicans can't win an election without cheating. Really? Really? Who wants to purge the voter rolls of dead people? Who wants to basically make one vote, one person? Who wants to protect your right to vote and your vote not being taken away from somebody who doesn't even belong in this country? They're here illegally. Sure as heck isn't Republicans. Guarantee you that. So yeah, it's getting a little bit crazy. Holder is telling you who he is. The left is telling you who they are. And to make everything even worse, now, we're losing Afghanistan. Now, I'm going to spend the last few minutes talking about this. My personal, honest feeling, and in case you live under a rock, Afghanistan is collapsing. They're falling. The Taliban is taking over Afghanistan once again. All we did was spend billions and billions and billions of dollars and waste good young American lives in Afghanistan. Just so the second we pulled out, we trained these people, we did all this stuff, just so when we pulled out, the Taliban can just waltz right in there and just take back over with hardly a fight. I have issues with this. I have a lot of issues with this. A lot of people are freaking out because we're losing Afghanistan. We lost Afghanistan decades and decades and decades ago. Afghanistan has never been really ours to find. I have issues. Now, I know there needs to be stability in the Middle East. There's never going to be stability in the Middle East, ever. There's one way to get stability in the Middle East. That's nuke the whole thing from space. Just glaze it over. Then it might be okay. These people have been fighting since the beginning of time. They are going to fight until the end of time. That's just the way it is. And there was news articles all over the place about, the Taliban's, basically taking over all these towns and they're confiscating all of this American weapons and tanks and drones. No, we're supplying them. I looked at that for about 5 minutes and I went, here's the problem with all of that. If we wanted those weapons back, we could get them back. It's with the might we have, the things that we can do, we could at least neutralize them and make them worthless. We know how to do that. Yep, that's what's going to happen. We're just going to let them have them. This is called supplying the Taliban. Now, if you remember right, good old Barack Hussein Obama, he loved his ISIS. Oh, the JV team. He loved his Taliban. Loved them. I guarantee you we are arming these people. Now, we're trying to make it seem like, we're helpless. There's nothing we can do. And they're going to try to blame Trump. Trump wanted to pull out of there. Here's my feeling on all this. I say pull out of there anyway. Let it destabilize. Make it Russia's problem. They're closer to Russia than they are us. Pull out of the whole Mideast. Pull all of our money. Pull all of our troops. Pull everything out of the Mideast. Let them battle each other. What do we care? It's not going to happen because, the left thinks that the United States of America has to be the police force of the world. Yep, Aggie says, I was an advocate for Operation Smoking Crater in Afghanistan and Desert Glass in Iraq. There you go. Just glaze it all over. Make it a giant parking lot for all those Italian cars across the way. But yeah, we're going to lose it. And now they're downscaling the United States Embassy to just about nothing, according to the New York Times. They're running on bare staff, and they're talking about maybe just having to evacuate the whole thing. And it's crazy. But my gut feeling is I don't care. I don't care. Now, if Biden wasn't so stupid and dementia-ridden, we would still be energy independent, and whatever happens in the Middle East wouldn't bother us at all. At all. However, because of the insistence of these morons on the left having to take sticks and poke the Middle East, and it's not just the left. There's a lot of presidents on the right, presidents for years. They just have to poke around in the Middle East. Poke. And then when we've got skyscrapers falling from terrorists, they step back and go, well, what do they do that for? Get out of it. Just leave them. Take our money, our interests, our assets. Don't give them anything. If we have to pull out of Afghanistan, come back here, take all the people that are from Afghanistan and boot them out. Make them go back to Afghanistan. So you don't like being over there? Well, start a war, change your government. We're not going to help you anymore. We don't care. We really don't. I'm tired of our young men and women getting thrown into these meat grinders, these never-ending meat grinders, like Afghanistan and Iraq. Just like back in Vietnam. And I'm not an anti-war person at all. There's some times where you just have to roll your sleeves up and go to war. But we are never going to be successful in the Middle East. These people are bullheaded like rabid dogs. They go at each other night and day. They have since the beginning of time. And we've been told that they're going to do it until the end of times. War after war after war after war after war. It's all they know. It's their culture. Pull all of our assets out, take all of our money away from them, and say, if you want to kill each other, do it on your own time. Oh, and by the way, you're not allowed in the United States of America anymore. None of you. Until there's peace. So there you have it. We're losing what we've worked for, well, since Desert Storm, basically, in one way or another. It's all going to go away because it's the Middle East. These people don't want peace. They're tribal. They're vicious. Yeah, there are some peaceful people over there. I'm not going to lump everybody, but there's just a lot of tribal, vicious people who believe that what they're doing is completely justified. And that's the way it is. Why should we be sending our young men and women to be thrown into that meat grinder that's never going to end? I've got a problem with that. We may have to defend the shores right here. You know, we've got China, North Korea, and Russia would love for our economy to collapse. They would love for things to go south here. And then bring a bunch of fringe lunatics, a bunch of weapons, and see if they can't get an absolute civil war started. That's why I laugh when these dunderheads on the left, especially Biden, you know, oh, we got tanks and F-15s. So don't you know history? Don't you know how we ended up with this country? Let me give you a scenario, Mr. President. Here's a little scenario for you. Let's say that people have had enough and they start rising up. Now, what do you think Russia and China is going to do? You think they're just going to look at it from afar and go, oh, that's too bad? No, they would love to see chaos in the United States. You don't think they would start supplying through, back doors, third-hand people, supplying a lot of these rebels with bigger, badder guns, bigger, badder tanks, things like that? You don't think that they would do their part to try to keep this government destabilized? You're not thinking straight. They know this. They know what would happen. They know there's all kinds of foreign nations that would be siphoning weapon after weapon into this country if it all started going to heck. So when you hear these people go, oh, we got tanks and nukes, they're very stupid people. We got this country. We became a country because rebels started rebelling, and places like France and other places said, hey, this could be a golden opportunity, and started helping the rebels. We do it to other countries, for God's sakes. And if you don't know that, study history, read a book once in a while, turn the TV off. We literally arm rebels in other countries trying to overthrow governments we don't like. You don't think the people are going to do it here? Oh, they know it. They know it. They just think you're too stupid to know it. And there's a lot of people on the left that are. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people on the left that are very popular and on social media with their pretty little blue check marks. And they're absolute brain dead idiots. They don't know history. Thank you so much for sitting in for the hour rant that is the Hardcore Patriot. Have been live tonight. I have been enjoying the heck out of it. I'm going to be back Sunday night, Lord willing, with Circumspice, the right side of Michigan. There's a lot going on in Michigan right now. Oh boy, there's a lot going on in Michigan. And we'll talk about it. Keep it tuned to KLRN Radio all week long. About the only time we don't really have a lot of shows is on Saturdays. Yeah, no fishing report, Jeff. Wrong show. Tune in Sunday night for that. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Alan Ray. I'm going to call it a night. Go get some sleep. I got to be rising and shining early in the morning to go run that 5K. And then after that, who knows? It's a Saturday and it's supposed to be nice weather. So I'm going to get my Patreon on out there. God bless you. God bless America. We'll talk again soon.